for accepting us. Kindly, may you introduce yourself and the services you offer to the community of the organization.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Dr. Elvis Abenga. I'm the managing partner, Begis Law Offices and Chambers. I am also a law lecturer at KShs University Faculty of Law. At Begis Law Offices and Chambers, we have 13 different practice areas that span from corporate commercial, property transaction advisory, litigation, and representation, as well as personal law such as family, children, and the law. And we are pretty much an all-rounded legal practice that focuses on touching lives of all the clients that we get to interact with.
Well, thank you for that. So you do give legal advices and services in property investment and management. So kindly, at what point an investor needs to involve a lawyer in property investment projects?
I'd say at the beginning. I'll tell you out of experience, I've had clients come into this office where you find they've gone, made their own deals by themselves, and either ended up getting scammed or the deal didn't go through for whatever reason, and then they come to the lawyer to try and salvage the situation. And I always tell guys, lawyers are what I would call a necessary evil in any commercial transaction, especially when we're talking about transactions with regards to land, because as lawyers we are trained to do due diligence in identifying potential risks in any transaction and just taking care of your interest and ensuring that you do not get duped while you are doing your transaction. So at the beginning of the transaction, once you've met the other side, that if you're, for instance, purchasing land or getting into a project or an investment, once you've met the side you're transacting with and you have the details, you come and then the lawyer will be able to advise you that for a transaction of this nature, these are the kinds of documents we need, these are the due diligence steps that we need to take in order to ensure the transaction works.
Oh, wow. So on your page, you've done an article on off-plan projects. So kindly, may you define what is off-plan projects and what is your opinion about this kind of projects?
Okay, so an off-plan project is a project where you have a company or an organization that offers subscription services, in the sense that it has a wide number of people who are called to now make investments. These are called investors. They invest in a project. Maybe it's mostly building of houses, of either residential or commercial houses, and it's through the funding of this project that this property company now then constructs or completes the project. So it's called off-plan in the sense that it's off the normal sense. When you want to buy land or you want to buy a house in the normal way of investing, you'd go and find a ready-made house and you look at it, then you buy something you already seeing. But for off-plan, you do not do that. You make purchase for and pay this company to construct the house for you, and somehow you have faith that they will be able to complete their part of the deal. That's why it's called off-plan. And you'd realize off-plan projects are usually way cheaper or cost less compared to buying actual houses, and that's the reason why you find so many Kenyans opting to go for such projects, and as a result a lot of people getting duped from them.
Well, thank you. So what is your opinion about this kind of projects as an advocate or lawyer?
Just as I've stated in our website, www.begislaw.com, if you can avoid off-plan projects, avoid them. And I use that word very selectively. If you can avoid them. Right now, we're in the process of representing over 600 clients who are suing different companies that started off-plan projects, and somehow down the road they were unable to complete and people lost their money, and now we're trying to recover the money. If you have to do an off-plan investment, go to an advocate. There are a few things that you need to know whether, as you determine whether or not an off-plan would work, whether it's a viable investment. You ask yourself, one, does this company own the land that the project is supposed to be based on? Nowadays, I'm dealing with a company that didn't even own the land upon which the project was to be based in. So this company went, advertised, asked people to pay, and then now went to try and look for land and were unable to get into contracts to buy the land. So they were consequently not able to deliver on the project, and yet people had paid up to 176 million shillings in terms of investment, which just went down the drain, and we're trying to recover that. So does this company own the land? How many previous off-plan projects has this company delivered successfully? What are its completion dates, timelines? Is it a legitimate? What are the financial status of the company? Does it have any other assets that can be attached in the event that they are not able to produce, to do what they're doing? Is this a company that can give a performance bond? We have a document usually called a performance bond that any company which is worth its salt usually gives out to investors to say, you know what, this is a contract, this is a bond that we've taken with the bank. If we are unable to complete this project within this particular time, the bank will pay you this amount of money, or will refund your money back to you. Those are the things that we actually look at, and to know if an off-plan investment is usually it's viable or not. Otherwise, we'd advise, if you're not able to do all that, avoid off-plan investments. It's just like buying a car. You could either walk into a yard and buy a car ready-made and drive off, or you could decide to import a car using an importer. So you're purchasing a vehicle you've not seen. You'd always still have to ask yourself the same questions. How trustworthy are the people I'm dealing with? Can they actually deliver? Or will you be buying air, literally?
Oh, thank you. Seeing that this is a challenging topic, so how are these cases? You said you have over 600 clients representing over the same. How are these cases challenging, and what is their success rate in court?
So the cases are succeeding. Two of them just concluded, and we ended up going through arbitration as a process. The thing is not about the success rate of the case. There are other questions to raise. So you get a court saying that, yeah, you're entitled to getting paid this amount of money. Then you discover that, yes, you have a court order saying that your clients should be paid, but this company, you do not know where their assets are so that you can go and attach, because it was pretty much a briefcase kind of company. So you have orders which you struggle with in terms of attachment. So that is usually one of the biggest problems with off-plan, because these companies, today I could decide, you know what, I want to get rich. I don't have any land anywhere. I open a company with let me call it a Land Grabbers Association Limited, as an example of a random company. And then I advertise, I tell guys, you know what, there's this property somewhere I want to develop for you, give me money. They give me all the money, 100 million shillings plus, and then I simply vanish. I wind up the company, disappear into thin air. Investors are looking for the money. Maybe I'd even go hire, spend some amount of money to advertise in the media, get good graphic designers to do graphics of the project that I want to do, walk into somewhere, get some vast piece of land and do a video shoot to show that I actually have the land, but I do not have any land. So I get guys to invest. Once I get enough money, I evaporate and no one will find me. And because I invested in a company, anyone who comes, I tell them, the company is different from it. It exists as a separate legal entity. So because these people never did due diligence, they ran towards the next available quicker offer. You're given an offer that you can own a house with 1.5 million shillings, a 3-bedroomed house, which doesn't make any commercial sense, and you run to it. And these guys would know that this is what you need to do, and they get your money and they disappear into thin air. So that's the problem we have with lots of off-plan companies. I think in Kenya we only have maybe 2 companies that have successfully done off-plan business. They are very countable. I'll not mention them, but when you do due diligence, you'll be able to find a lot of these other companies that are running this business. They are running them as Ponzi schemes, what you'd call them as Ponzi schemes, where you'd find investors would have one ground of the first batch of investors. They come, deposit some money, the company is not able to fund, so it advertises a second project somewhere and uses the money from the second project to pay off the first investors and tell them, we ran into trouble, but we got some money here, let's pay you off. But then it keeps on going like that. It becomes a pyramid scheme until some time the company dissolves and people lose millions of money. So that's the reason why you need a lawyer. I cannot emphasize it more than that, in order to know whether you're getting into a legitimate deal or not.
Oh, thank you. So when you are involved in this kind of project as a lawyer or law firm, in ensuring genuine transaction and transparency in this process, what is your role, or what do you do to ensure that your client is not conned or something fishy doesn't happen when they have already entered into that project, or they are intending to enter into that? So what do you do?
For us, we do very robust investigations. We have an entire group of people we contract to do investigations. They will investigate this company, any company that is doing the off-plan, find out where are these guys getting their money from, who are the directors of this company. Okay, they have this project where the land is sitting. Do they own the title deed to that land? Did they get this title in the proper way? Yeah. And then we go for and ask how many such transactions, how many such off-plan projects have these guys successfully done? Then we tick all the boxes. We then go and find out, do they have a performance bond? Do they have insurance, indemnity insurance in case they are sued? And once we tick all these boxes and see that these guys have had at least 1 or 2 successful projects, that we can verify that they've actually given people houses and they are happy, and the land they have is legit, they have a performance bond, they have insurance, the directors are well known, their assets can be traced, then we can be able to look at now the documentation. We look at the contract that they give. Most types of contracts that off-plan companies draft, they call them executory contracts, meaning contracts that will have a future performance obligation on them, which become troublesome. So we look at the nature of the contract, the terms, the clauses, the payment schedule, when are the completion dates, are they practical completion dates? Because it's not practical, even from an architectural and an engineering point of view, to tell people that you're building 100 houses and you will deliver these 100 houses within 9 months from scratch. Doesn't make any sense. So we'd have to compare all these things, and once we get approvals that this project makes sense, then we can be able to advise the client to proceed and invest without any fear. But if 1 or 2 things do not check out, then we just advise clients, please, this thing doesn't work. And I've advised clients before, don't get into this transaction. Then they take you that because you're the lawyer, they feel like maybe you just not happy for them, or you want to spoil the deal for them. They run past you, do the investment, then get burnt and come back, which then becomes very unfortunate.
Oh, thank you. On that note, but some clients don't really agree with your advice. So, to these kind of clients, what do you suggest or advise them to do if they have to invest in this?
So I'll just tell, it's still the same thing I'll tell clients. You can get burned. There's still hope in terms of recovery. It's just that the process might take a bit longer, and you'll have lost a lot of time, and maybe you'd have used your money for something else. Don't avoid a lawyer. When you get sick, you will go to a doctor. The doctor will tell you, you know what, this is what you need to do to get better and recover. This is the medicine you need to take. You have the choice to whether or not you will take the medicine. If you don't take the medicine, you will still be sick. If you take the medicine, you will get better. So you might decide, you know what, I'll avoid this doctor and go to a witch doctor in the village to tell me what is wrong. And then you go and get burnt. You'll eventually still have to come and see the doctor to undo whatever the problems they face. The same thing with property transaction with lawyers. We are trained to do this. This is what we do for a living, and you need to be able to invest a little bit more in seeing your lawyer, so that you can be able to know, to have the peace of mind that I'm not losing my money when I'm getting into such a transaction.
Oh, thank you. So lastly, someone may be afraid, so what is the procedure? I want to go and buy this and that. So how am I going to get my lawyer? So kindly, if you may take the audience through the procedure of getting in touch with a lawyer or a legal services to safeguard their properties before they can take steps to invest in.
I'll tell you for a fact, like for our office, beggislaw.com, we've made life a little bit easy for anyone because we have an online consultation portal. It's called eConsult, E like electronic, but eConsult. When you go to www.beggislaw.com, on our homepage, somewhere down there's a portal, that's a red button telling you click for an e-consult. Then you log in. It's just like Facebook. It's our own social media. Then you can easily post and say, you know what, I need to do this. I want to get into an off-plan arrangement. Is it legitimate? Then we'll correspond and tell you, please share the documents any documents relating to this, any offer letter, anything of that nature, any agreement. Then we pick it up, that conversation. Alternatively, if you do not want to use us, all you need to do is you can always search for advocates over the internet, and always ensure that the advocate you're dealing with it's a licensed law practice, and that the advocate is licensed to practice. All you need to do that is you type the advocate's name on the LSK, Law Society of Kenya website, and it will be able to produce to tell you whether the person is actively in practice or not. But any advocate that has been trained properly in Kenya, we should be able to advise you with regards to any transaction. But specifically, if you want to go to specialized law practice like ours, then you can be able to find us online, and without even coming, have a conversation, and we can be able to advise whether the transaction works or not.
Oh, thank you. So is there another way a client or whoever else want to consult with you guys, they can reach you out? So you may tell the audience, please.
Yes, so you can reach us through, as I've said, our website, www.beggislaw.com. Click to view our e-consult portal. You will be able to be directed there. And even on our website, there is a chat widget where you can be able to have a live chat with our advocates and ask any question and get guided without even making any payment yet at that point. Or you can as well reach out to us through 0743 235 953. That is our phone number, or 0723 313 833, and we'll be able to assist you. Our email address is info@begislaw.com. That is info@begislaw.com. You can just drop down an email and we'll be able to help you avoid losing your money.
Thank you, Elvis, for allowing us to have this wonderful moment. We hope to have you more times. Thank you.
Thank you.